All right, welcome everyone to our channel.
Welcome!
I'm There Can Be Only One, and that is
BeeSwarmBuggy!
And we're going to be taking our time today to show you around the bee swarm simulator. This channel is going to be really focused on a lot of things bee swarm.
Yeah.
So as we go, we're going to kind of walk through everything that we do. And the idea is that BeeSwarmBuggy over there is brand new. She doesn't even have a bee yet.
Nope.
No bees. So we're going to show you all the basics. Today's episode is really going to focus on kind of getting you that bee and showing you around the board and showing you the different things you can do. And then in our next episodes, we'll go a little bit further. You ready, BeeSwarmBuggy?
Yeah.
All right, let's show them how to claim our hive. You want to go show them how to do that?
Okay. So you'll see red arrows as you see on my screen. You will follow to one of the red arrows. Go to the arrow, tap E or just tap Claim Hive, and this is the winter update. You'll have your hive.
Yay! You got your hive!
Yay!
And one of the things you'll notice here is that BeeSwarmBuggy has no bees in her hive, right? See, her hive is all empty.
Empty, not even an egg.
Yep. But you can see that she's got that hive by looking up above the hive and seeing her name up there. And so you'll see the hives that aren't claimed have no names on top of them.
Or under them.
Yeah, that's true. No names under them either. If you come over here to my hive, BeeSwarmBuggy, are you there?
Here I'm coming.
All right. If you come over to my hive, you'll see lots of bees in that hive. That's what you have to look forward to. As you play the game, you're going to get lots of cool stuff that's going to get you lots of cool bees, and you're going to get to fill that hive up, and each of those bees does lots of cool different things, okay? So, now that we've claimed our hive, BeeSwarmBuggy, can we show them how to put that first bee in the hive?
Yeah!
Let's walk back over to your hive over here. Whee!
I'm coming. I'm coming.
You'll notice when we start out in this game, when you have no bees yet, you're going to go a little bit slower than I am. But that's okay because, again, that's part of the fun in playing the game. As you get better and better, you'll get faster and faster.
Yep. So now you'll click that little egg icon and scroll to the bottom. You'll see a basic egg has appeared. Drag that basic egg to one of your green hive slots. Once you hatch that basic egg, you will usually get a basic bee, or you could get a brave bee, etc.
What'd you get there?
A brave bee!
Yes, a brave bee! That's really good. All right, so now you've got your bee. Let me get out of the way here so that everyone can see what your bee looks like.
He's very brave.
Now, one might ask, what do you do with your bee? BeeSwarmBuggy, where do we do next? What do we have to do with our bee?
Get honey and pollen.
That's right. And so the first thing we have to do is collect pollen. When you collect pollen, you're going to see the little icons up at the top, or the little bars up at the top. You'll see a bar up there called honey, and you'll see a bar up there called pollen. As you kind of go through these fields, and you're going to see, like, we're going to turn around now and look at all these fields. As you see all these fields, as you walk through them and your bee goes over the flowers, it's going to start collecting pollen. You want to go into the sunflower field here?
Yeah.
So as we do this, you're going to see that that pollen container starts to fill up. You see it kind of filling there, BeeSwarmBuggy?
Yeah, it's getting a little red.
Getting a little red. Oh my, you're already almost full, huh?
Yep, full.
Are you full?
Yep.
Oh no, so after you've filled up your pollen container, what do we do next, BeeSwarmBuggy, once we've got a full pollen container?
Convert our pollen into honey.
Yeah, so in order to convert our pollen into honey, we've got to go all the way back over here to these hive spots, right?
Yep.
And we go and we stand right in the middle of our hive slot, and up in the top.
Or up on the top, you'll see a little button. tap that little button. If you're on a computer, easily press E. Then your bees will get right to work converting your pollen into honey.
And you see her bee just went right into that hive slot, and you saw that stream of pollen going into that hive so that bee was making honey. When you saw that, you would have seen up in the top there, right next to the pollen, is the honey. Now you see BeeSwarmBuggy's got a little bit more honey in her honey pot there.
Yay!
So the first part of this game is all about collecting that pollen. So you got to go around to all those different fields and just keep filling up that pollen container and keep emptying that pollen container. Because the more honey you get, the more things you're going to be able to do in this game.
Yep.
So BeeSwarmBuggy, let's go and show them where all the fields are. That's probably the next best thing. So why don't we start over here with our sunflower field again.
Okay. So this is sunflower. How do you know it's sunflower? You'll see giant sunflowers on it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in the sunflower field, you've got different colors. So if you look at the field, you're going to see that each of the flowers are a little bit different. Some are white, some are red, some are blue, right? And that's going to be important later in the game as we start to look at different, what we'll get are quests. So if you look, BeeSwarmBuggy, let's go and look at the end of this field. And we'll come back to this in a little bit. But if you see at the end of this field, you'll see Mother Bear over there, right? Did you see her?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to come back to her and talk to her in a little bit. But each of those bears are going to give us quests. They're going to give us different things we can do. And sometimes those quests might be specific to types of fields, meaning go and collect from the sunflower field, or go and collect white pollen or red pollen or blue pollen. And those colors of those flowers will tell you the different types of pollen you're going to get in each of these fields. So you can see this field is primarily white, but it's got some red and blue in it, so you get a little bit of everything while you're running around in this field. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next field. Why don't we do you want to go to mushroom?
Yeah.
All right, let's walk over to the mushroom field.
How you know this is the mushroom? You'll see giant mushroom parkour.
Oh, yeah. You like doing all the parkours.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at those. Whenever it's time for a parkour, I have BeeSwarmBuggy help me out. All right. In this field, you're going to see the big difference in this one is that it's red and white. There's no blue in this field, right? So what's nice about that is that sometimes, again, you might get those quests from those bears, and when they give you those quests, they might say, collect red pollen. Well, if I went over to this sunflower field and tried to collect red pollen, it might take me a pretty long time because there's not very many red flowers in that field. But if I come over here to the mushroom field, I'm going to be able to collect lots of red pollen because it's lots of red flowers in this field. The other nice thing to know is BeeSwarmBuggy, if you look down at the field, can you look where you can see the flowers?
Yeah.
If you notice the flowers, sometimes there's one flower, sometimes there's two flowers. And if you get to bigger fields, sometimes you'll see 3 flowers or even really, really big flowers. Well,
Wow.
The difference in those flowers is how much pollen you get. So when I'm on one of these squares that only has 1 flower in it, I'm going to get just a little bit of pollen. But if I'm on a square that has 2, I'm going to get a little bit more, and 3 more than that. And then if I have a big flower in there, I'm going to get a lot of pollen.
Wow.
So as you go through the fields, you're going to be looking and seeing that the flowers are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, which means more and more pollen and more fun. All right, where do we want to go next, BeeSwarmBuggy?
How about this field?
Ooh, what field is that?
Dandelion.
So, dandelion field is primarily white again, just like sunflower, except in this one you'll see it's much more white than sunflower was. Sunflower had a little bit more red and blue in it. This one has a little bit of blue and very, very little red. So if you really need to collect white pollen, this is a good one to do. You'll see a lot of things happening around me. Don't worry about those things for now. As we get into later episodes, you'll kind of understand what those mean. But we're just kind of teaching you the basics right now.
Like that swirly thing.
Like that swirly thing. That was something I just got recently, and I'm so excited about it. But we'll teach you about that in a little bit. All right, BeeSwarmBuggy, which field do we want to go see next?
My hive.
Oh, yeah, you're already full again?
Yep.
Oh my, you're just filling up that honey.
Tell us about the different types of bees.
Oh yes, there are lots of different types of bees, and actually, BeeSwarmBuggy, why don't you show them up on the menu up there how they can go and see all the different bees that are available to them.
So, you know how you tap the egg icon? Well, tap the square with a little face on it, and then you'll see all these bees with all their names. Like, I have this brave bee, which is a rare, colorless energy 30 speed, 16.8, attack 5, collects 10 pollen in 4 seconds, makes 200 honey in 4 seconds.
So a lot of that is not going to make a whole lot of sense yet. But here's what you really want to know. When you go back and you look at, like, you can see all the different bees, right?
Yeah.
It'll tell you how many bees you have. And that's going to be important because sometimes there are certain things that you can only do if you have a certain number of bees. So you can always come here and see how many bees you've got. But then if you click back into Brave Bee there, what you're going to see here is the different type of bees that they are. So Brave Bee is a rare bee. There's a basic bee, a rare bee, an epic bee, right?
Yeah.
And a legendary bee, and a mythic bee. And then there are what they call event bees, right? And we'll teach you about event bees in a little bit. But all those different types are harder and harder to get. So rare bees are only slightly harder than a basic bee, right? And so when she planted that basic bee in her hive, it hatched into a rare bee, which was great for her. So the colorless just means that it doesn't have a preference to whether it eats white pollen or red pollen or blue pollen. It
Eats?
will, yeah, eats. It collects. Thanks for keeping me honest there. So it'll collect any kind of pollen. And you'll also see other things where it's like in quests and when you're fighting different mobs and things of that nature, you'll see where that colorless will really come into play. But really, the big thing is the energy, the speed, and the attack. So, Brave Bee, how much energy does your Brave Bee have there?
Well, Brave Bee has 30 energy right now.
30 energy. And so Brave Bee, what the energy means is that's how long it's going to be able to go out and collect that pollen before it has to go back to the hive to rest a little bit. So the higher that energy, the more likely it's going to be able to stay in that field and collect lots of pollen for you before having to go back and take a rest. What's your speed?
Brave Bee's speed is 16.8.
All right, so the speed talks about how fast that bee can move, and you'll see that as we get a little bit later in the game, you're going to be able to use these things called cannons. BeeSwarmBuggy, you want to show them what a cannon looks like?
This is one of the cannons. It's a very advanced cannon. You discover 25 bee types to fire it, so it's going to take long to get to, but this is one of the cannons.
Yeah, and so when you use that cannon, you're going to go flying across the board, and your bees are going to have to follow you. Well, the speed of those bees is going to depend on how fast they follow you. And so you might shoot all the way across the board into another field, but then you might have to wait a little bit for those bees to catch up if they have a slow speed.
Like my bee right now. It's not catching up too fast.
And then you've got the attack, and the attack is really about when you're fighting different things on the board. And so we'll talk about those in future episodes, but the higher the attack, the more likely it is that you're going to be able to beat that thing that you're fighting. Okay, and then we're not going to go through the rest of those. The rest are pretty self-explanatory, but it talks about how fast your bee is going to collect that pollen and how fast it's going to turn that pollen into honey. And then some other stats about those bees as well. We'll let you look at those in your own time. All right, so you have emptied your pollen container, right?
Yep.
All right, let's go over and show them another field. Which one are we going to next?
Let's go to the blue flowers.
Oh, blue flower. I like to run around.
Yay.
BeeSwarmBuggy likes to jump. I like to run. Ooh, wait. Don't go in the blue flower yet.
Ah!
So, I think I just killed yours as well.
Yeah.
So what you just saw there was a rhino beetle. He's the first one that you're going to see of the things that you have to kill as you go through the boards.
Wait, we saw a ladybug and mushroom.
Oh, we did. Oh, I missed him. I must have
Killed him right
killed him
away.
very quickly. So in mushroom, there was one ladybug. In blue flower, there was one rhino beetle. So rhino beetles and ladybugs, when you kill them, they're going to give you what's called bond. And so what that does is that takes your bee and it makes it stronger. And so as your bees kill more and more rhino beetles and ladybugs and other types of things, they're going to get more and more bond, which makes them stronger and stronger and stronger.
Wait, is this what you're talking about? Because something popped up on the side of my screen that said Brave Bee level 2.
Oh, your brave bee leveled up?
Yeah!
Oh, yay! So, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And so what happens is as you kind of build that bond, your bees are going to become higher and higher levels. Let's go back to our hive slot to show them what that looks like.
I've been...
Oh, you're already back there.
I was converting.
You just left me.
I was converting!
So now when you look at Brave Bee over there in her hive, you can see it's got a number 2 next to it. That means it leveled up from a basic to a level 2 Brave Bee.
You can also look on the bees' wings to see their levels.
Yeah. And so as your bees get more and more, you can basically level up your bees in a couple different ways. Bond, by killing different things, right? That'll continue to make them a little bit better. And then also by feeding them. And we'll show you how you feed your bees in a little bit. But there's different ways that you can keep getting them to higher and higher levels. And as you get your bees to higher and higher levels, they're going to be able to do more and more things, right? They're going to be able to kill things faster. They're going to be able to collect pollen faster. They're going to be able to move faster, right? So you really, really, really want to keep leveling those bees up. All right. BeeSwarmBuggy. Where do we want to go next? Do we want to go to Clover?
Yeah!
All right, let's show them Clover. Clover's the first field that we're going to bring you to where you actually have to go up to get to it. So if we walk over here to the Clover field. And when you're first starting out, you're going to kind of have to climb those ladders, okay? But as you get a little bit better, you'll be able to get more and more abilities like jump. When you come up here into Clover field, you're going to see that there are a ladybug and a rhino beetle in this field. Now, since BeeSwarmBuggy is playing with me and I've got lots and lots of bees at lots of high levels, I'm killing off those bugs pretty quickly for her. If you're playing on your own and you don't have someone else in the game playing with you who's got some experience under their belt, then it might take you a little while to be able to kill those things, right?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, what you're going to want to do, BeeSwarmBuggy, do you think that your ladybug is respawned yet over in Mushroom?
Either yes or you have to wait one more minute. Either way, I'm at my hive again.
BeeSwarmBuggy has to go to her hive a lot. And that's because she doesn't have a very large pollen container, which we'll also show you about in just a little bit. So, are you going over to
Mushroom?
Yeah, go. I'm going to stay over here so I don't go into the field with you. So, yeah. So, BeeSwarmBuggy, show them how they would try to kill that ladybug. See? Oh, her brave bee killed the ladybug. Did you see how BeeSwarmBuggy was jumping around? What? Tell them some of the strategies you used while you were in there to kill that ladybug.
So I like to jump away because jumping, if they try to go for me, I'll be off the ground, and if they touch you, you will lose some health. Yeah.
And do you see what's happening in that field with her? There is what we call a sprout. And we'll talk about those in a little bit in a later episode. But really, those sprouts are a great way to get a lot of good stuff. Basically, it's a plant, and it's been planted in that field. This one magically appeared. I think this one was just kind of given to us by the board. But basically, in order to make that sprout pop, you have to harvest from that field. So BeeSwarmBuggy would have to walk around that field a whole lot, collecting pollen from that field. And you can see as she's collecting pollen from that field, it's counting down. So now it's at 49,400 something. And so the more pollen she collects, and she's probably got a full pollen container.
Yep.
The more pollen she collects, the lower and lower that number is going to get until it gets down to 0. When it gets down to 0, it'll pop, and a bunch of really cool things will come out of that sprout that we can run around the field and collect. When she's done collecting her, or turning in her pollen, we will go and I will kind of show you guys what it looks like when one of those pops. Let's give her a minute to finish doing that.
I'm coming back.
All right.
Hopping makes me go faster, so not my strategy.
All right, so I'm going to go into the field with her. Now remember, I've got lots of bees. I've got 46 bees, and they're usually at about a level 13 to 15, somewhere in that range. So when I go into this field, that thing's going to pop very quickly. Are you ready, BeeSwarmBuggy?
Yeah.
I'm going to pop it, but I'm not going to go and collect anything. I'm going to let BeeSwarmBuggy go and collect all of it, all right? Here we go.
Okay. Oh. There's like strawberries, sunflowers, and treats in all foods.
Yeah, and we'll talk about all these tokens. Those are called tokens, what she's collecting. And we'll talk about those tokens in a little bit in one of our future episodes. But those tokens fill up your container. So when you look in that menu up on the top in that egg has all the different things that you've collected. And so I will talk about what all those things do in a later episode, but just know that you want to collect as many tokens as you can collect.
But there can be only one. When I claimed my hive, Owen started talking to me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
What was he saying?
He was saying something about a winter update or something.
Oh, yes. You guys are getting to play at the most perfect time. Right now, in BeeSwarm Simulator, they've created what's called Beesmas. And this is Beesmas 2020 because they've had this in the past as well. And so special right now are a lot of Christmassy type things throughout the board that you'll be able to do. So some of this stuff that you're seeing, like the fact that the board is kind of a white looking board, and when you're in a field and you're stepping on things turn white, almost like it's been snowed on. All of that is because of Beesmas. And so we'll talk about a little bit of the Beesmas stuff, but we're going to try to focus mostly on the core game so that even once Beesmas is done, you guys are able to play really and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just I have some other stuff, like I have 25 gumdrops, 6 snowflakes, 3 field dice, 1 glitter, and 1 present.
Oh, yes, you got a present. That's part of the Beesmas.
And a royal jelly and a star jelly.
Ooh, you got a star jelly, huh?
Yeah.
So that's part of the present is part of the Beesmas update. All the rest of those things are things that we would normally get.
No. Snowflakes.
Oh, that's true. Snowflakes are part of the Beesmas update as well. You've got snowflakes, presents, and gingerbread cookies that are part of the Beesmas update. So we'll talk about those a little bit, but right now
This is part of the Beesmas update.
we're going to kind of leave those to the side. All right. Have we shown all the different fields we can get to?
Yes,
So
I think so.
let's start with sunflower again. We'll recap one more time. So remember, sunflower field is over here. And it is primarily, well, it's actually a good mix. It's white, blue, and red. And it's a very, very good mixed field. And then once we go from there, we've got mushroom. I'm going to show them what mushroom field looks like.
Yep, 1 sec.
And mushroom field is primarily red, but it's got a little bit of white in it. And it's good to know what the primary of the field is, because ultimately later in the game you're going to find that there are field boosters, things that make you collect pollen faster in these fields, but they're colored. And so there'll be a blue field booster and a red field booster, and then a mixed field booster.
What
So-
about field dice?
Yeah, we'll talk about field dice in a later episode. Field dice also help you boost the field. So the next one we went to was dandelion. Dandelion is primarily white, but it does have a little bit of blue and red in it.
The next one I'm going to is my hive.
Remember, BeeSwarmBuggy, she's only got that one bee, and that one bee is filling up quick. So we'll in one of our next episodes, we'll also talk about how we can get other stuff that helps her stay out and collect longer.
And more bees.
And more bees, because that's what it's more fun, is more
Always.
bees.
Always more bees.
All right, you want to show them blue flower again? So blue flower, just like mushroom was
Flower?
primarily, flower. Blue flower, just like mushroom was primarily red, blue flower is primarily blue. It does have a little bit of white in it, but it is considered a blue field. All right, and let's go up to clover.
No, let's go up to my hive.
Oh, can we walk up to clover real quick before you do your hive? Clover, similar to sunflower, is
Level 3!
Oh, you leveled up again?
Yeah!
So you guys can see how quickly these bees will level up those first few levels. But clover, is a mixed field just like sunflower. So it's got a little bit of everything: blue, red, white. But you'll notice that sunflower is a little bit more white, and then some colors mixed. This one's a little bit more of the other colors with some white mixed in. So they're all a little bit different. And you'll start to learn which fields are good for when you have to harvest which types of pollen. But for now you know where all the basic fields are. And those will be the fields that you're going to use until you've got at least 5 bees. Because in order to get into the next zones, you need at least 5. So let's go out of the game though, BeeSwarmBuggy, and let's show them 2 other things. We're going to show them...
Wait,
Oh, yes.
how do we leave the game set?
Oh, that's true. We can show them how we leave the game, but then when we do show them how we're going to leave the game, we're going to go and show them how to join the club. So one of the really, really cool things, and actually before we leave the game, why don't we show them the one thing that they can do in this area when they join the club.
What?
Okay, follow me.
What would be different if you just joined a different club?
So you're going to see around the board a bunch of different things that you can do. One of them in this area over here, you'll see the honey dispenser. Do you see it over there? But
Yeah.
you see how it says club?
Join the group BeeSwarm Simulator Club to use the honey dispenser.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different dispensers around the board. There's a honey one, there's a treat dispenser, there's a blueberry dispenser, a strawberry
Strawberry.
dispenser. And the only way you can use those dispensers is if you join the club. And it's
Strawberry
really
and
cool
blueberry.
because once you join the club, you can go to these things over and over and over. Like, I think it's like once every hour, once every 2 hours, depending on which ones you're going to.
Some of them are just like minutes.
Yeah, and so it's super easy. There's no cost to joining the club. You just join it, and then you get those extra free things as you play the game. It's a lot of fun.
So there can be only one. How can I leave the game?
All
Sorry,
right.
I'm admiring the beautiful tree.
It is a beautiful tree. Why don't you show them how we leave the game?
Well, on the side you'll see above your egg token you'll see a little Roblox symbol. Tap that and you'll see this. Tap the button, leave game, leave, and you'll be out of the game. So then you scroll down, you tap developer. Wait. Go down, tap BeeSwarm Simulator, groups, BeeSwarm Simulator, join group. You should see successfully joined the group, and this is the BeeSwarm Simulator Club. You can listen on here for some updates. As you can see, on lately said BeeSwarm's Winter 2020 event has begun. Play to claim the 2-day ×2 Honey Day event boost. Help the bears decorate the map. Discover the new bee equip items. Deliver presents and more. Happy Honey Days.
And now that BeeSwarmBuggy has joined the club, the next time we come in to play this game with you all, we'll show you exactly what that club has gotten her and how she can go and claim that honey from that honey pot. Goodbye, everyone, and we hope to see you again in our next episode.
Bye!